lot had changed since I started on the V. People had come and gone and never seen again. Friends had been promoted and moved to other ships. Others had been sacked or quit. There was only a small handful of the animals left on board. There was the pianist. He was still here. Sparta was still here, but both the pianist and Sparta are due to go to the new ship very soon. I found myself acting production manager once more, and yet again I was doing both my lighting job and being production manager at the same time, though it would only be for another week. The crew bar situation was slowly going downhill. People didn't want to get on it these days due to the change of captain. The girl front had started to slow down. At this point in my contract, I had a short fling with a youthie who was only on for a cruise to end the busy summer season. I had a one-nighter with a shoppy Balkan. She was only interested in a one-nighter to make a Serbian tog jealous. Matters were not helped that I had developed a bit of a reputation for putting notches on my bedpost. It was halfway through the cruise when a certain girl caught my eye. She was a shoppy that worked in the handbag shop. I had noticed her in passing, but was always too busy to stick my head in there to say hi to her. This was one of the reasons I loathed being production manager as well as the lampy. I would just have to hope that no one had dibs on her or hooked up with her before I had a chance to try my luck. This girl was awesome. She had jet black hair, a nice tan, perky jogs, and a cheeky smile. I just felt that perhaps she could be the one, though to be fair, I met a load of the ones over the years. It was a formal night, but like normal, I couldn't give a fuck and stayed in my blacks. I had too much to do and no time to do it. All the senior officers knew that I was working 2 jobs, so said nothing to me walking around the venues, quality checking the entertainment in my blacks. I walked past the handbag shop and noticed that this new shoppy wasn't there. I continued to walk through the atrium and made my way up to the pianist. He was due to finish his set and we were going to have a beer in the mid-lounge and quality check the party band, as I heard reports as they were flat as fuck, and I wanted to rule out my boys from the equation. The pianist had just finished and he was receiving his applause. A couple of old dears bought his CD, but the pianist had a little scam going on. If the customer paid in cash rather than their cruise card, his agent and the company wouldn't get their cut and the pianist would keep all the profit. Once the mob died down, I made my way to the piano and shook the pianist's hand. "Let's do it," I said. And the both of us left the atrium and walked into the mid-lounge. I checked my phone for the time and the band should be playing. The stage was empty and the background music was on. They were only 2 minutes late, but still they were late. I looked at the pianist and he shook his head. He knew what was going through my head. I passed my Laminex to the pianist. "Mine's a pint, get whatever you want and I'll come and find you," I said with a pissed off grunt. I walked into the control room and the boys just knew what I was about to say. Before I could even ask where the band was, the noise boy just came out with, "They're backstage and won't pick up the phone." "Leave it with me," I said. "Just stand by to bring them live." I stormed out of the control room and made my way towards the stage. As I approached backstage, I could hear voices. It wasn't an argument as such, more as a discussion. I didn't knock on the door, I just flung it open and looked at the band. I pulled out my phone and checked the time. The band was now nearly 10 minutes late. I replaced my phone into my pocket and closed the door. I said calmly, "Can someone explain to me why your set has started and you're still here having a chinwag?" The guitar player spoke out of turn. I was expecting the band leader to talk to me. "Our last set overran, so we're making up the time now." "I wasn't talking to you, but since you self-elected yourself band leader, I'll only say this once. If you overrun, that's your problem. You keep to the schedule that's listed." The guitar player tried to interrupt, but I spoke over him. "Next time this phone rings, I expect you to answer it. Now get onto stage. You're lucky it's me that spoke to you, and not the entertainment manager. He becomes a mean cunt when people are late." Without another word, the band made their way onto the stage, and the band leader, Brighton, mouthed thank you as she went on stage. I left backstage and had a look around for the pianist. He spotted me first and gave me a wave. I walked over and the band started to play. Standing with the pianist was the girl of my dreams. She was wearing a golden dress and golden heels and she was just beautiful. The pianist handed me my pint and introduced us. "Paul, this is Newport. Newport, this is Paul." We began to converse and talk about all kinds of crap, including a conversation about this dismal party band. They were quite robotic and lacked any form of stage presence. And then, to the horror of my ears, there was a lot of feedback coming from the stage. So I arranged to meet Newport in the crew bar after all the evening's entertainment had finished, and I bid farewell to both Newport and the pianist, then made my way to the control room. "What's going on with the feedback?" I said to the noise boy. He replied with, "Dickheads are turning up their amps, and there isn't much I can do without turning the band off." This really annoyed me because I knew that the band will blame the noise boy over this and I wasn't going to have any of it. Do the best you can for now. At the end of the set, I'll have another chat with him, I said. I took a swig from my pint of beer and continued to watch the show from the control room. The noise boy was fiddling with all the gains and faders to make the band as palatable as possible, though it was in vain. Every time he adjusted the band, I observed the guitar and bass player crank up the volume on their amps. I shoved a blank DVD into the recorder and told the noise boy to patch the sound feed into the video. Then I hit record. I zoomed the camera into the bass player, then recorded him fiddling with his amp. Then did the same with the guitar player. As soon as this god-awful set was over, I finalised the DVD and began to burn it. I left the control room and made my way backstage. Once again, without knocking, I entered the dressing room and the band were all arguing with each other. None of the band noticed me until I made my presence known with slamming the door shut. They all stopped bickering and looked at me. The guitar player instantly came out with an accusation. "You need to tell your sound engineer to stop the feedback. He's making us sound shit." "I shall do no such thing," I said. "The feedback's coming from your amp, not the PA." The guitar player snapped back with, "Bullshit, he's making us sound crap." I smiled and without thinking I replied, "You're the one who's crap. The bottom line is, I was sat in the control room and filmed you playing with your amps and cranking the volume every so often. That extra noise is going straight down the singer's microphone and creating the feedback. Now turn it back down and stop acting like a spoilt prick that thinks you're still playing in mummy and daddy's garage and do what you're fucking paid to do. And if I hear you bad-mouthing my noise boy again, then there'll be fucking trouble." And that goes for everyone. If the amps and monitors are not turned back down to soundcheck levels, there will be some serious motherfucking trouble. The guitar player jumped back in with, "Who do you think you're filming us without our permission?" I smiled and calmly said, "I'm the production manager and you're on my stage, which means I can record what the fuck I like, especially if it's to determine if you're delivering the products that the entertainment department has paid for, and you haven't delivered jack shit. I'll be back for your next set. And there will be no starting late, and there'll be no turning up of your amps. Am I fucking understood?" No one said anything, but I took that as a yes and left the dressing room to move into the aft lounge. Within a few minutes I arrived in the aft lounge and I noticed Newport standing at the back of the venue by the doors. The lounge was packed and you simply couldn't see the stage from where you were. You were forced to look at one of the many monitors scattered around the room to see the stage. I went up to Newport and said hi. Not that you could really talk, as the aft lounge was always a loud venue when you had a vocalist performing. Tonight's act was a Freddie Mercury tribute. For some reason that I was unaware of, the vocal artist was on track, and the four-piece rock band were not present on stage. At that point, I wasn't inclined to give a shit, as I was more interested in Newport. I pulled out a cigarette and showed it to Newport to gesture that I'm going to the promenade deck. Newport pulled out her pack of cigarettes from her clutch bag. This was a result. I thought to myself, a really fit girl, and she smokes as well. Wow, that rhymed. We both left the back lounge and made our way to the open deck. The outside was windy as it was hard to pull the door open, but we went out regardless. I sparked my cigarette, then offered the flame to Newport. She bent her head down to the flame and began to puff. After about 10 minutes of small talk, I noticed a flood of passengers come outside. This looked odd, really odd, as there was still half an hour of the show left. My pager went off and I looked at it was the Spaniard. He was operating the sound for the aft lounge. Once again I apologised to Newport and made tracks into the aft lounge. As soon as I walked in the once heaving room, which was now less than half full, the crowd were very, very hostile. Freddie Mercury saying, "Say yeah," and the crowd saying back, "No!" This was tragic. I've never seen a fake Freddie go down like a lead balloon before. I made my way to the control room and through the baying crowd. As I made it to the control room, a plastic bottle was thrown at Freddie. Once again, I've never seen this happen before. I ran into the control room and the Spaniard immediately shouted me over. "Dude, this guy is drunk," said the Spaniard. "You're fucking kidding me," I shouted over the noise of the performance. "No, man," shouted the Spaniard. "He even walked into the audience and nicked someone's drink from their table." "Fuck off," I shouted back. "Right, keep this cunt going, and if the crowd look like they're about to murder him, then cut him short. I'm going to page the entertainment manager." I ran out of the control room and darted out of the aft lounge and ran into the stairwell where the nearest phone was. I paged the entertainment manager and added on a 999 priority symbol on there. Within seconds the phone rang and I picked up. This cunt pretending to be Freddie is trashed, and it looks like the crowd that stayed in the venue are about to kill him. "Do you want me to pull him off stage?" I said. The entertainment manager paused. What's the room attendance like? It started off round and now it's like 20%, and those 20% are about to rip him to shreds. Someone even threw a bottle at the cunt. Leave it with me, said the entertainment manager. I'll come round and take him off at the end of the show. Get the Spaniard to set up a movie for his second show. Make sure the screens say due to a technical problem the late show is being replaced with whatever movie you put on. Make sure the movie isn't one we've played so far this cruise, and let me know which movie you put on so we don't repeat it in the rest of the cruise. The line went dead and I returned to the lounge. There was less people in the venue now. It wasn't even what I would have considered 10%. As I made my way to the control room, there were chants from the remaining audience. You're shit and you know you are. And why couldn't you have got AIDS and not the real Freddy? I got to the control room and shouted the plan to the Spaniard. There was 10 minutes of the show left and Freddy realised his goose was cooked. He finished off his set at the end of his song with a drunken rant. None of those people that left there have taste. I'm the best Freddy tribute out there. No one's better than me. Freddy was interrupted with another bottle being held at his head. Luckily for him, he dodged it. You're all fucking Philistines, he shouted back. At this point, the entertainment manager was in the control room and grabbed the god mic. Ladies and gentlemen, said the entertainment manager, please put your hands together for Freddie Mercury. May he rest in peace. The Spaniard played the standard company sting to play the entertainment manager onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to apologise for this evening's entertainment. We still have a plethora of entertainment around the ship for you to enjoy. We have the late show of tonight's cabaret in the theatre and the party band throughout the night in the mid-lounge. Not to mention a duo playing in the Sky Bar and the orchestra and our fabulous pianist playing in the atrium. Once again, we apologise for tonight's aft-lounge entertainment and we wish you a good night. The entertainment manager walked off stage and the Spaniard played off the exit sting as the stage went dark. I observed the entertainment manager go backstage and asked the Spaniard to PFL the entertainment manager's microphone so we could hear the chewing and spitting out of tonight's dismal act. The Spaniard patched it through to his monitor speaker and what we heard was brutal. Too brutal to repeat here. At one point both the Spaniard and I thought the entertainment manager would actually punch the living shit out of Freddy. Neither of us had any sympathy. I turned to the Spaniard and asked, why didn't the four-piece back this cunt? The Spaniard replied with, they couldn't read his dots. It was like he photocopied out of a fake book, cut the lines out and glued them onto paper, then copied them, and then photocopied them. There was no key or tempo notations, or even breaks in the bars. I looked stunned. There wasn't much that could shock me, and for the first time in what looked like a long time, I just didn't know what to say. Eventually I came with, what a fucking cunt. The bollocking backstage had finished, and the only thing that we could hear was a faint sobbing of a man, followed by the entertainment manager storming out from backstage and came towards us in the control room. The Spaniard muted the microphone. The entertainment manager approached the control room. I'm going to come back in 10 minutes. Make sure that man is not here when I come back. The entertainment manager said to the Spaniard, Paul, come with me. The entertainment manager walked out of the room and I followed. He marched out to the open deck and continued to march along the back of the ship where there was no one present. Do you have a cigarette? The entertainment manager said to me. I pulled out my packet and handed him a cigarette, and I pulled out one for myself. I sparked us both up and said, I didn't know that you smoked. The entertainment manager said, I don't, but people like that sometimes make me have the odd one. And then he paused. Not many people would do what you did. They would have just let it happen and not let me know. I want you to consider coming into the new ship when she's finished as my production manager. I was stunned, but immediately replied with, you've only known me for a month. Surely there are better people than me. I paused. I never wanted to be production manager. I came to see not to be the boss after being the boss for so long in my last job. I'm here to do the best job I can and have fun, but since I've been put in charge, I haven't had any fun at all. The entertainment manager interrupted me with, that's because you're doing both jobs. It would be different if you just did the management job. Look, you have the respect of everyone that works in your team, and you are one of the fastest people to earn my respect. Not many people I've met can do what you can do in both the theatre and running of the team, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. I don't want to sound ungrateful, I said, but this ship is my home. The theatre, when I took it over, had long-term problems from its original installation, and I fixed it. Every unit that was fucked, I've unfucked it. Units that the ETOs haven't been able to fix, I've shown them how to fix. The cabin is even used as a workshop. The entertainment manager smiled and cut in with, when it's not being used as a party house. I continued, When it's not being used as a party house, there's always a unit on my desk being fixed and deep cleaned so I can smoke while I work, and throw empty cans at the unit if it's not playing ball. The entertainment manager cut in with, like the time I saw you shouting, "Why won't you fucking work?" and headbutting a digital spot. Digispot, I said. And yes, in the same way I abused that Digispot back to life. My lights are the cleanest in the fleet. I can't leave just yet. I tossed my finished cigarette to the floor and stamped it out. I pulled another and lit it. I offered another to the entertainment manager, but he refused it. "If you change your mind, just let me know," said the entertainment manager. He took his leave and walked off back round the corner. I finished off my cigarette and headed back to the production office to print off the band sheet ready for the entertainers and the production crew. The rest of the evening's entertainment went without a hitch. I kept popping into each venue to do a quality check. Then, as the last show started, I went back to my cabin and changed into my traditional crew bar clothes and flip-flops, cut down jeans and t-shirts. I took a beer out of my fridge and necked it. Once the can was empty, I crushed the can and threw it at my wall where it bounced off and fell into the bin below. I opened my cabin door and made my way to the crew bar. It was a quiet night up in the crew bar, but I enjoyed myself all the same. Most of my evening was spent in the smoking room as usual. Then Newport walked in. She was still in her golden dress and still looking fit as fuck. For the rest of the night, it was just Newport and I talking. We talked about everything and anything, and it was though we were destined to meet. Before I knew it, we were kissing in the middle of the smoking room and then drinking more and more kissing. I suggested we go back to my cabin for a private drink and she said yes. She took my hand and we left the crew bar. In a jiffy was outside my cabin. I opened the door and we began to kiss once more, and then the cabin door clicked shut, and that's all I'm inclined to say.